ring of golden light forms on the ground before you, and from it a truly profane creature emergeth. A mass of tangled limbs, clawing, grasping, flailing. The Revenant returns from its accursed slumber to drag you into an abyss of torment. You try to roll away, you try to run for shelter. O sweet maidenless tarnished, you are ever a slave to that meagre green bar. Your stamina drains rapidly, but the Revenant cares not, for it does not adhere to such limitations. Surely, if you can survive the first flurry, it will leave itself open for a counterattack. Fool, think of Fear's bosom before it's too late, because the second series of ceaseless strikes is on the way, and you'll be on your deathbed before you draw your next breath. Well done, Tarnished. You panic spammed the roll button, and you actually found a momentary respite. Oh, what's this? The Revenant has another weapon. You hesitate for a moment, perplexed by the creature's violent retching. Noxious green globs and gobbets of vile bile spew in your direction. Congratulations, you're now poisoned as well as exhausted. Never fear, quickly thrust your hand into your pouch and bring forth a neutralizing bolus. Not the most appetizing, but now's not the time for food snobbery. But wait, the ground beneath the Revenant becomes little more than a suggestion. It sinks, and suddenly you have a moment of eerie silence. And then the golden light reappears right before your feet. Writhing hands reach up from the void and clutch your ankle. With a violent jerk, you're pulled under. Awakened by the warm embrace of the long-lost grace, dear Tarnished. I'm afraid that was no nightmare. The Revenant is quite real. You've encountered many monsters on your journey, and last time I said that the Crucible Knight was the most hated enemy in the lands between. Some of you Tarnished agreed with me, but a great many of you adamantly disagreed, suggesting a variety of alternatives. So why not extend this topic into a series? There is no shortage of annoying, aggressive, anxiety-inducing enemies to choose from, and perhaps the most common response was the Revenant. We all know just how infuriating they are to fight, but what is their story, and how can they be defeated? The first thing to note about the Revenant is its name. The word Revenant means a person who has returned, especially supposedly from the dead. And this is key to understanding these monstrosities. On first glance, they may seem to share similarities with the grafted scions, but if we look a little closer, the structure of the Revenant's body, while hideous and malformed, is at the very least consistent. A grotesque amalgamation of limbs, the Revenant is a creature with the body structure of an arachnid and the face and arms of a human. Say what you will about the obscene anatomy, the Revenant's body appears seamless, and by seamless, I mean that literally. The grafted scions are the result of shoddy workmanship. Their bodies are composed of many creatures spliced together. The Revenants are cursed. That is why they are such abominations. Curses in the lands between tend to occur when living things stray from the Greater Will's grace. When something dies, its essence returns to the Erd Tree. But cursed individuals endure, deathless. Take the Dung-Eater's seedbed curses for example. By cultivating these curses, he prevents dead souls from returning to the Erd Tree, leaving them forever cursed. Then we have the story of the Knight of the Black Knives, the deaths of Rani and Godwyn. Godwyn's soul was killed, but his body lived on, while Rani sacrificed her body so that her soul could live on inside a doll carved in the image of the Snow Witch. Death was cheated, and the Greater Will was deprived of its vital essence. Where Godwyn's lifeless husk was buried, entwined amidst the roots of the Erd Tree, death roots began to sprout, which gave rise to those who live in death. Like these undying beings, Revenants persist in limbo, cursed, living in spite of the Greater Will. Upon death, if you're capable of killing one, the Revenant will always drop a ghost glovewort. Glovewort is a white flower that blooms in crypts and catacombs, anywhere souls go to rest. Grave gloveworts are said to be soundless bells used to summon spirits, while ghost gloveworts are even more in tune with the spirit world, for where they grow, spirits nestle close by. Since times of old, large gloveworts were used to comfort heroic spirits, given in tribute to those who died the most glorious of deaths, in the hope their stories would become legend. Each and every Revenant in the lands between carries one of these precious white blossoms. But why? They are not heroic spirits. They did not die in glory. In fact, they did not die at all. They are cursed and they are undead. Perhaps they clutch these flowers in one of their many hands in some vain effort to be rid of their curse. Maybe they desire to die and let go of their worldly suffering. There is no peace like the peace of eternal rest, followed by the incandescent touch of the greater will's golden grace. But instead of feeling the embrace of the Erdtree, the Revenants may only embrace the Tarnished, in a bloody tangle of limbs and swords. The true indictment of the Revenants, that guarantees without any shadow of a doubt that they are truly and irreparably cursed, is their weakness. A note on Revenants claims, "The crawling royal Revenants and their followers are all cursed. Healing powers will harm rather than mend. Healing incantations are devastating against Revenants, and can utterly destroy them in only 2 casts. And these incantations all share one similarity. They are powered by the greater will, either drawing their potency from the 2 fingers, who serve as interpreters for the greater will's wishes, or from the Erdtree itself, the towering beacon of the greater will's divinity. This weakness proves that the Revenants have strayed far from the outer God of Order's ordained path. Spells that restore the vigour of living things have the opposite effect on Revenants. The Golden Order that is essential to the greater will relies on the following principles. That of regression, in which regression is the pull of meaning, that all things yearn eternally to converge, and that of causality, in which causality is the pull between meanings. It is the connections that form the relationships of all things. The first of these concepts, that of regression, relies on all things returning to a former or less developed state. That is why we see the essence of living things flying like fallen leaves in reverse, back to the Erdtree upon death. The shattering of the Elden Ring has brought chaos to the lands between, but it is your consecrated purpose to slay these cursed creatures, so that the Erdtree can reclaim them once more. And that concludes this installment of the most hated enemy in Elden Ring. What's your most hated enemy in the lands between? Is it the Crucible Knight? Is it the Revenant? Or is it an enemy I've yet to mention? Let me know, as there are plenty more to tackle in future videos. Thank you so much for watching. Drumora is a new channel, and I'm dedicated to seeing it grow so I can continue to tell these stories. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a link to my Patreon in the description. Please, only pledge if you can afford it. I've also started a Discord, so if you'd like to chat to me and anyone else interested in Elden Ring and Elder Scrolls, come join. Thank you so much again. My name's Drew, you've been watching Drumora, and I'll see you in the next one.